welcome to Sandy's house where ingredients and taste meet. And B and I are back with another delicious recipe. And as you can see, we have another guest with us. This is JL Williams. JL is one of the young people at my church, and she participated in a baking program that I started at the church last year when I was in culinary school. I was thinking about what I wanted to do with what I was learning. I knew that I did not want to open a restaurant. I am not interested in catering, but I think I'm an educator at heart because I really wanted to find a space to teach other people or to share with others what I was learning in culinary school. I have since graduated. Woo! And so the Lord led me to starting a baking ministry at the church. And JL was a part of that. She is fantastic in the kitchen. She really got the hang of the techniques and the methods of baking and seemed to really enjoy it. So what was your favorite part about baking?
My favorite part about baking is learning how we can incorporate Jesus into it and how easy it can be if you follow the right steps.
Wow.
All right,
Wow.
girl, you got that.
I know. We did a little something. Well, today we are not going to be baking. We are going to be cooking shrimp tacos.
That sounds
Can
good.
Yeah, that sounds good,
That
right?
sounds good.
Right? So with a little special twist, I'm going to teach JL how to make a homemade flour tortilla. This is not my recipe. I actually got this recipe from Jenny Jones, who used to be a talk show host. And when I stumbled upon it, it was so simple. I've made these tortillas several times, so I'm praying that they come out today, like they have in the past.
I'll help you pray.
So anyway, let's get started.
Good to me.
So before we get started on making our flour tortillas, and B's gonna work on our sides, we're making Spanish rice. And so she's got 2 tablespoons of butter. She's gonna melt that in the pot and add a half cup of chopped onions. And then we've got a teaspoon of cilantro. We've got 3 tablespoons of tomato sauce. And we've got 2 teaspoons of Old Bay, a teaspoon of garlic powder, a quarter of a teaspoon of cumin. You could put more, but cumin is a very potent flavor, and I don't want it to take over the dish. So we're just going to use a quarter of a teaspoon. And we've got a teaspoon of chili powder, 2 cups of rice, and 2 cups of liquid. 1 cup of liquid has a tablespoon of beef bouillon mixed into it. You can also use chicken. I just really prefer the flavor of beef over chicken, but you definitely could use 2 cups of chicken stock. We've got 1 cup of beef bouillon and then 1 cup of water. And what she's gonna do is she's gonna sweat these onions out in the butter, and sweating out just simply means that she's gonna stir them around until they get a little bit tender. Then she's gonna add the rice. When the rice gets a little toasty, a little brown color on it, she's gonna add the tomato paste and then all of her seasonings. We're gonna add the seasonings before we add the liquid because we wanna wake up those flavors and really infuse some great taste in this rice. So you got that?
Hey, I got this.
Okay.
If I don't, I know how to act.
That's good. Okay, so JL and I are gonna move over here and get started on our tortillas.
Bye.
Is that cool?
Bye.
Okay. Okay, so JL, this is the process for making these tortillas. We've got 1 3/4 cup of flour. We've got half a teaspoon of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, 3 tablespoons of oil, and then we've got a half a cup of hot water. The hot water, somebody might ask, well, why hot water versus cold water? The hot water is going to give us a more moist and tender product, right? Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to add the salt and the baking powder in your mixing bowl here. We're going to move this closer to you. And then after you add it, you're gonna mix it up really good. Take your spoon and get that little bit out of there. I love this recipe because it is super, super easy. Okay, you're gonna mix that up. Okay, and then you're gonna add the 3 tablespoons of oil. And you know, it really doesn't matter what oil you use. If you want to use vegetable or canola, it's totally up to you. I just happen to use olive oil for everything. And you're gonna mix that up really good. While you're mixing, I'm gonna go and heat up your water. Okay, so now we're gonna add the hot water. I'm gonna add this for you because it's really hot. And you're gonna mix it all together as best you can. Yeah, press it together because now we want it to start trying to come together.
It shows a little water.
Okay, so then what you're gonna do is take your glove and get all of that little gook off of there. All that flour and
Do like your grandma.
And then
do.
you're gonna take your mixture and you're gonna pour it out here. Don't worry about it being kind of rough because you're gonna knead it and bring it all together. That's exactly how it's supposed to look. And then you're gonna take it. Exactly. You're gonna start pressing
Girl,
it
you
together.
know what to do? You're gonna be a cook after all.
What? This is one of my star bakers. Of course she knows what she's doing.
Mama ain't have to worry about going in the kitchen no more.
Yep, you're gonna keep doing that until it all comes together. So then what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to get 8. You're gonna cut this in half. And then you're gonna cut it the other way. And you're gonna cut each one of these in half. And we're gonna try to get, yep. Good job. You did a good job on the dough. Okay. Now that we got our dough cut, I'm going to show you how to roll it out, okay? Got a little bit of flour here. We're going to go ahead and turn our pan on because it's got to be nice and hot. And by the time we get it all rolled out, I got a little bit of flour here just in case, just to kind of flour our board just in case it sticks. And so what we want to do is we want to roll this into a nice little ball. Then we're going to take it, we're going to press it out, and we're going to roll it. We're going to flip it over. And we got to get these very, very, very thin. If it looks like it's coming apart, just take it and kind of press it together, okay? And we're gonna roll these out until they're really thin, and they've got to be like almost, I mean not almost, but like paper thin, where we can see the pattern from our steel pad here. And
so this, you roll that out as a like that corn tortilla.
well, this one's a flour.
Yeah, but that's what you're talking about, rolling it out.
And if you notice, the tortillas that you buy in the store, they're all perfectly shaped in a nice little circle, right? Well, the great thing about homemade ones is it's an irregular shape. See, it's not, we started off as a circle because it's just easier for us to press it out that way, but it's not ending up in a circle. And we want to get it as thin as we possibly can. So
If you
like
keep
I
on
said,
rolling, you're gonna have a hole in it. Huh?
well, no, because you can always take a little piece and press it back together. But you want it as thin as possible because you don't want a thick, chewy tortilla, right? You want it very, very thin. You see how thin that is? That's good. And then what we're gonna do is take it and you're gonna put it in a dry pan. We don't need any oil in this at all. Okay? And it's gonna get nice and toasty. And the char is up to you. Like some people like a little dark. Some people like it like it's really totally up to you how much you want to char it. And then once we get a nice little color, we'll flip it over. Okay. You want to see if you can do it?
Yeah.
Want to start one? Okay. So you add your little flour, just a little bit on your board, on your rolling pin, in case it decides that it wants to stick a little bit. Make sure your ball is nice pressed together so that it won't fall apart on you. Yeah. See how irregular? Gotta apply a little muscle to it. You want to get that thing flat and then roll it both ways. Roll it up and down, roll it to the side. Okay, so the labor intensive part about this recipe is just rolling out the dough and trying to get it as thin as possible. When you think it's thin, roll it a little bit more to get it a little bit thinner. And then after we toasted each tortilla, we put it on a plate or this wooden slab and then covered it with a clean kitchen towel. And that will keep the tortillas moist and pliable so that they don't crack when you fold them into your taco or your burrito or whatever. So we're gonna let these hang out. They're gonna stay warm in here. They're gonna get nice and soft for us. And now we're gonna prepare the shrimp. And we're almost done with this recipe. The rice is steaming, should be ready. Everything should be ready about the same time. So you're ready to start your shrimp? Okay, so we preheated our oven to 425 because we're gonna roast these shrimp. You can roast them, you can sear them on the stove in a little bit of olive oil or a little butter. You can bake them. It's really up to you how you want to prepare your shrimp for your shrimp tacos. We are gonna roast these. And when you're roasting, you want to make sure that your protein is as dry as possible, whether it's shrimp or chicken or steak or whatever it is you're using, because otherwise, if there's any liquid in it, it'll steam. And we want we want to roast them. So what Jael's going to do, she's got a teaspoon of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of Old Bay, a teaspoon of salt. We're gonna add the salt a little bit at a time. The thing about salt is when you get something too salty, you can't take it out. So it's best, what I usually do when I'm using salt is I do a little bit at a time because I don't want to over season it and mess up whatever it is I'm cooking, right? Because you can put it in, but it's really hard to take it out. And then we've got a half a teaspoon of black pepper. And then what she's going to do, she's going to mix this up with her tongs to make sure that all of the shrimp are nice and coated. And then she's going to place them on this baking sheet that we've lined with foil. Then she's going to take her little paintbrush with some olive oil and just paint olive oil on top of each shrimp. We don't want to drown the shrimp in olive oil. So some people just drizzle it. If you got one of those little things that has a spout, you can just drizzle it. You can use your little paintbrush and you can paint it on there. This part is really a matter of preference. It's not a big deal how you choose to do it. So you want to go ahead and start seasoning up your shrimp.
So if you're gonna use say chicken, you do the same process as
Exactly.
but instead of shrimp.
Exactly. And you want to make sure that your chicken is nice and dry. If you're choosing to roast it, you want to make sure that it's nice and dry, and then you do the same thing with the olive oil. Just take a little handful and put it in there. Okay, and mix it up and see what it looks like, and then you can decide if you want to add more. The key with roasting is making sure that your protein is dry. Yeah. Otherwise, it's gonna steam and it's gonna have a lot of liquid because it'll produce a lot. If it's already moist, it's gonna produce more liquid, and that's what will cause it to steam instead of roast. And you'll see the difference once our shrimp comes out.
Oh, okay.
We didn't add any paprika in there.
You want more?
What do you think? You want to add more salt? I think we probably should, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's only a teaspoon, so you'd probably be okay adding all of that salt. Yeah. Yep, and mixing it in there really good. She's gonna get you some paprika. That's gonna add more color. These shrimp have been cleaned and deveined. I clean both sides of my shrimp, the back and the middle, because I just like to know that they're like super, super clean. Not everybody does that. Some people just devein the back of them and leave them alone, but I clean both sides. Okay, now we want to place them on our baking sheet, and you want to spread them apart. You don't want to crowd them. Awesome, we're gonna get them all on there. Great. And these shrimp are the 13-15. It's about a pound, and 13-15 represents the size. So this is our nice like tiger prawn size. This is a nice big shrimp. Okay, now what you're gonna do is you're gonna brush one side, and then you're gonna flip them over and brush the other side, and then we're gonna put them in the oven. Perfect. Did you have a good time?
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a lot to do today.
What did you learn?
Oh, I learned how to make flour tortillas, and that they cook like faster than regular store-bought.
All right.
And they're gonna taste a lot better than store-bought too. So we had a lot going on in the kitchen today, but we got it all done. We've got Aunt B's Spanish rice, JL's delicious looking tortillas. Can't wait to dive into those. Her roasted shrimp, those look amazing, right? Those look really, really good. So we are ready to dive in. Listen, thank you for joining us today. I want to leave you with this blessing. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord protect you. May the Lord smile on you and be gracious to you. May the Lord show you his favor and give you his peace. We leave you with this, and we will see you next time. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Bye.
Is it supposed to have holes in it?
No. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Sandy's house, where taste and ingredients, no, is that it? Or ingredients and taste?